How to be an ally in preventing discrimination.
Most people can agree that discrimination in the workplace is not a positive thing, but it's still a sad reality in too many workplaces. So what can you do to prevent it from actually happening? The problem is discrimination isn't always overt, and it can happen anywhere, sometimes even by accident. How do you prevent someone from giving certain employees advantages if they don't even realize what they're doing is discriminating against others?
Recent research from Professor Aradhana Krishna from the University of Michigan suggests that people devote more attention to actions than the prevention of actions. Her work supported the idea that to prevent discrimination, it's more helpful to think of what actions we can take to do away with it, instead of just listing actions to avoid.
Adopting this kind of mindset can solidify preventative measures in your workplace and ensure all of your coworkers feel like they're in a safe and inclusive environment.
Make prevention the convention. Take steps that actively prevent discrimination in your workplace. Here are 4 ways to prevent discrimination at work. Speak up. When you see an act of discrimination, speak up. Tell the perpetrator why their behavior wasn't okay, and allow for the possibility that any harm was unintentional. Call out hidden discrimination. Keep an eye out for discrimination disguised as humor. Many perpetrators make the mistake of thinking that jokes don't cause harm. Don't let that slide, even if the victim laughs along. Break the chain. If you hear discriminatory jokes or comments, don't repeat them. This can cause discrimination to echo through the workplace. Even if you have to describe an act of discrimination, explain exactly what happened instead of treating it like gossip. Learn about other cultures. People with different backgrounds will have different needs and sensitivities. If you have coworkers with cultural backgrounds you're unfamiliar with, make a point to learn something new about them. This could start as simply as searching, "What is Sufism?" It's okay not to be an expert, but a small effort can go a long way. Finally, if you know someone is experiencing discrimination, offer your support privately and refer them to supervisors or other trained support professionals. Let's take a look at these guidelines in action.
Marvin works in a mid-sized office with lots of different departments. He's noticed recently that a few instances of casual discrimination have been occurring, and he's decided to ensure it doesn't happen around him. If he hears any discriminatory talk about other employees, he makes sure to speak up against it. He doesn't condone offensive joke emails and deletes them when they come through. He encourages discussions about issues other coworkers may be experiencing to help find solutions. If any colleagues are still being discriminatory, like using offensive words or excluding others, he pulls them aside and has a one-on-one with them to explain the behavior.
Following these guidelines will help reduce discrimination in your workplace. Time for a quiz. Rita is an office manager who wants to ensure her workplace is free from discrimination. She knows that a few of her coworkers sometimes send out insensitive jokes through company email and has responded with a memo to everyone about email guidelines. What is something more active she can do to prevent discrimination in her workplace? A. Hold sessions to learn about other cultures in the office. B. Block all non-work related emails to prevent offensive jokes. C. Immediately report all coworkers for any actions she finds offensive. D. List acts of discrimination that occur publicly so people are ashamed to repeat them. The correct answer is A. Promoting awareness of other types of experience is the best way to get ahead of discrimination, because you don't have to wait for discrimination to occur to prevent it. The more you know about something, the less likely you are to make hasty judgments about it, either by accident or on purpose.
In order to be an ally, you have to understand what struggles another group is going through and what issues they're currently facing. But I think in the workplace, it has to be confined to that actual environment. If I learn about the struggles of a different group at a different company, what their struggles are, it might translate to my current workspace and environment, but there's going to be differences. Every team is different, so you can't really generalize this stuff. Like, you have to listen to the people you're around. And I think when you do that, and you're able to have those open, candid discussions, and people are actively listening, and they're able to process that information in a way that they don't want to run away from it, they don't want to get defensive about it, and instead they're able to move past those feelings and go through what actions can I take to make things better.
Take the next step. Have you ever talked about the differences in your workplace or tried to learn something new about someone else's culture? Make it a point to learn one new fact this week about another religion, region, or even era that someone grew up in. But beware, don't ask your coworker to explain their culture for you. It's not their job to be your teacher. Find out for yourself.